Today we're going to be doing a part 2 walkthrough of our new space build out. What you are looking at is our custom built RIP-J overclocking air conditioning tube. That's right, you may have seen Jay route his air conditioning straight into his computer when he overclocks to battle us, and now we're going to do the same except we're building it into the suite. We're not actually, just before people start, I'm not actually building the place based on what Jay does, but I should. Before that, this video is brought to you by EVGA's new keyboards. EVGA's new Z20 and Z15 RGB optical mechanical gaming keyboards have abundant RGB LEDs and programmable macro keys on the left side of the keyboard. They also have a sensor to detect and turn on the LEDs when you're in front of the keyboard and turn them off when distant, offering a unique feature for keyboards. The keyboard claims a 0.5 millisecond response time and 100 million keystroke lifespan. Learn more at the link in the description below. Okay, so we already have a part 1 video where we talked about getting the space, the challenges of getting it, and the challenges we face getting it into a workable situation. Because right now, it is a mess. That has many advantages with it. We can customize the build out. It's a bit cheaper at the front end because we couldn't work with it as is. And so we can build it the way we want. But it's taking many, many months. As explained in part 1, which you should pause and go watch now, we'll link it below before this part. But as explained in part 1, the timelines for this at the time of filming now are approaching something like 8 months maybe, counting the initial finding the place, looking for it, going through all the front end work. And we're not going to be publishing these videos necessarily in real time, so real-time progress may be a month or 2 ahead of what you're seeing. But anyway, this is a corner that we're working on in the film studio. We're going to walk through various rooms in the new place, talk about what we're planning to do with them, and just give you a behind-the-scenes look in advance what's going on. So this area, I have some good ideas for. We're probably going to make it one of the either B-roll sets or an A-roll set, but either way, it's probably going to be a set of some kind. And we are going to put the drop ceiling back in here. It's been ripped out to do initial work. I mean, you can see like stepping on nails and stuff. You can see there's junction boxes and electrical is getting done everywhere. When we moved into this place, there's almost no usable electrical for us. And so that's what we're getting worked on. And I mean, like you could see this is what's been getting the most work right now, is just putting outlets in everywhere. We're doing Cat 6 pretty much everywhere. Very expensive to do that, but most of it's going to be Cat 6 and most of the building. And I guess we'll walk around some of the rest of it. So this is all the studio. It used to be completely different. This wall last time was not here. So just to be clear, my team is not doing the construction and the renovation, but we are doing sort of the design oversight and the management. We planned it all. There is an architect involved, but we did all the design work and figuring out where stuff goes. So this wall is just going to be storage basically for equipment in this room, camera equipment, battery chargers, all that stuff all go in here. So we're still filling this in, figuring this out. I really hope we can find a use for this. It needs to be cleaned up a bit, but this was left behind by the previous occupant, along with all the nails and rusty screws on the floor that I keep tripping over. But this was left behind, and I think gives you an idea for how the place was used before. The place is like, I like that it's a little grungier here, because I feel like that's more our style. Start from very little and build it up into something cool. And it's more the approach we've taken to everything in the business, starting out of the house originally and building that up, and then starting in a cheap office space, building that up. So to build on the grunge, there's some cigarette butts lying around, and our contractor has informed me that the people who built the structure originally decades ago, I guess, left the cigarettes up in the ceiling as they completed bits of construction. So, I mean, if you're one of the people who did that, thanks. This room was very, very echoey in here. I'm not sure if we filmed last time, but this is going to end up being our server room, so you'll see a lot of it. And try not to talk too much in here because of the echo, at least on our end. But very simple stuff's happened here. So we stripped everything out. You can see the floor You see the outline of tiles here. So this room has been a few things throughout its life. Most recently, I think it was a break room. It was a bathroom at one point. Now it's going to be a server room. So this room's seen a lot of shit at various points. But Stone came in and put this in. This was our most expensive investment because it's a piece of plywood. And if you've paid attention to lumber prices recently, it's just like, I mean, it wasn't actually that expensive, but it was far more than it should have been for a piece of plywood anyway. This is going to be our networking equipment wall. So if you don't know, the point of these is just because as you switch out networking gear over the lifespan of a place you live in or work in, you don't really want to just keep putting holes in the drywall. So you mount one of these. That makes it more modular. So he came, put that in. Our fiber install has started. I still hate Spectrum and AT&T, so that hasn't changed. They are demonstrating their full incompetence to me every day, but they managed to get this much done despite being unable to find the building. That's right. The Berry crew came out and said, we can't find the building. And I said, do you mean the many tons of brick and concrete? Because I'm pretty sure there's a building there. Anyway, that's where that's going. We had conduit run. That's going out to where the internet comes in, obviously. So conduit was recently installed. And I mean, you can see like data, the electrician and networking team that we've hired are doing a great job of getting ahead of schedule. So I've been very happy with the electrician, the contractor, the networking team. Everyone's doing a great job, and they've got the data all marked out for this, starting with this room. So this room we're in is just a service room, basically janitor's closet, more or less. But there's old networking. Was that obvious? That might have been obvious. So old networking and phone switching and all this stuff. This was in our current office too. I mean, it's only been recently that businesses have completely abandoned standard landlines and things like that. So there's still a lot of this out there. But this is what we had done so far. That's the rest of the conduit. Comes into a pull box. This is super nice. So you take the plate off and it just helps pull the wire and run it from outside and into the unit. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Small updates. For this room, last time we showed the other side and we talked about not being quite sure if we were going to put a wall in here or not. Did decide to put a wall in. I kind of liked it being open. It's a weird shape, but I liked the feel of having like just a dividing hallway between two rooms. It felt like it would be a good fit for maybe a lab environment, to have basically two labs somewhat separated but still easily accessible. We decided to put a wall in though for other reasons that, I mean, once it's all built, it'll make sense. So in here we've got more very quick work getting done by the networking and electrical team. They've got patch and data receptacles marked, and this wall's getting put in. We have power and data here. That'll all be drywall later once it's done. That mostly finishes this room, so let's move on to the next one. So this room is the one I'm really excited about. I think in part one, there was a dividing wall somewhere. I think I'm looking at the floor. I want to say the dividing wall was about here maybe. Oh no, there it is right there. So there was a wall here. Took that out, and this room is going to be a test and equipment room. So this is where the new fan testing chamber is going to come in, the automated fan tester that we're bringing in. It's getting custom built. It fits all of the same standards that fan manufacturers meet. When they certify their fans and put numbers on the box, we'll be able to legally defend our data that comes out and test the numbers that the manufacturers put out. So that might be a little bit scary for some companies, but really excited about it. I think that machine's probably going to go against this wall. We're having like 220 volt put in a few places, and that one I think runs. That might only be 115, but anyway. It's probably going to go here. It's about 8 feet long. It's got a wind tunnel on it. It has like a counter blower underneath, computer underneath, and a bunch of valves with pressure sensors in it. And the valves clank open and closed as it tests the fan throughout different parts of the testing process. So you test for PQ curve, airflow, everything. Static pressure can be tested on it. So that'll go in here. It'll probably be a little bit longer than that. And other equipment in this room, we're gonna do a thermal chamber. I'm thinking the thermal chamber probably goes over here. You can see the contractors ripped this open to expose it for plumbing and electrical reasons because they're doing plumbing on the other side of the wall for a bathroom. But a thermal chamber, because it's environmental control, we're gonna need some kind of floor drain or some kind of drain hooked up to the existing plumbing. So that'll go against this wall. Those are probably like 6 feet deep or wide this direction and maybe 4 feet deep this way. So that'll be for testing cases, coolers, everything like that in a controlled thermal and humidity controlled environment, which this is not right now. It's very hot in here. On the other side of this room, so you can see we're doing lots of electrical and wiring here. This is the most involved part of the build out right now, is just getting modern electrical and Ethernet into the walls. So you see that everywhere. But on this side, we're probably gonna have, I don't know, we have options, but I would really like a salt spray tester for testing our own products and for testing water blocks and things like that. Maybe that'll go over here. That needs a water line too though. Maybe it goes over there, not sure yet. And then this we'll get a quick shot of as well, if the light works. Yes. This, we're just gonna turn into a small, probably storage closet for all the fans. But we'll see. It's likely just, we have a lot of fans right now. I mean, not to like to put you guys in, but, but for all the case fans will go in there. I don't know, not really sure yet. For a little bit, I really wanted to put the air compressor in there, but we'd have to work on the ventilation. Exploding air compressors, I don't know, I'm a little afraid of, but it was a consideration. I think we could definitely make it work, especially with our air compressor requirements pretty low, but we're gonna need one for the fan tester, and anyway, it gets into code stuff that's kind of boring, so I won't go into it. But that's the plan for this room. I don't really have anything to say about this, except it's cool. I don't know, there's a lot of power in that thing, I think. So we're gonna use that at some point. Over here is different. So this is new. We talked previously about how this room is a sort of a mix. So I've got a couple plans. It's a mix of a break room, but it's very large for that, especially for our team, but it's a mix of a break room and I was talking with Patrick the other day, Lathan, and there's some products that we want to mess around with and do stuff with, but it doesn't really make sense to do it on the main channel. But it's stuff that he and I are just personally interested in and would enjoy, I guess tinkering with would be the right word. But it doesn't make sense for the main channel. Because of the way YouTube works, you don't really want to publish stuff too frequently that you know is going to be low view count against the average, because it'll tank channel performance. Makes it very difficult to just do whatever we want. So as we start to roll out an extras channel where we do just whatever whatever project we want to mess around with. I mean, Keegan, for example, has been soldering together his own pedals for like guitars and stuff. So like that'd be fun, but not for the main channel. So as we get into stuff like that, this room would make a lot of sense for it because it's not part of the main video set. So if I need to film something or Stone needs to film something for the main channel, we're not disrupting each other. If someone else wants to play around with like whatever small handheld gaming device that we bought on AliExpress or something. Anyway, this wall is going in, so fridge will go here, and then small table or countertop over there, and we'll put, I'm sure there'll be a couch and tables and stuff. But that's the plan for this room. I think maybe we won't bother filling in the rest of the walls or the doors. This is actually extremely convenient. I think we're gonna leave it like this. Save some money too. Like this door, for example, totally unnecessary. Look at where Andrew's about to go through. You don't need doors. Like this is, I mean, I like how it looks. Look, he even got some splash of color up here. I have full faith in whatever is going on here that it's going to work out okay. There's some question marks in some places. This room is the one I'd mentioned previously, very long term. I'd love to make it, part of it at least, into a noise testing chamber. It's large, so it wouldn't be the whole thing, but it'd be a good spot where if we had, we'd have to work with engineers and architects for all kinds of reasons. Noise testing chambers, you get into some fire code stuff because all the insulation required to kill the noise needs to be of a certain spec. So anyway, that's a long-term project, long-term dream. Very expensive to do that, which is why we can't, I can't afford it. But I'd like to put one here because it would allow us to get a much lower noise floor. Right now our noise floor is pretty damn low. It's about 26 dB. You could think of this as like a very quiet suburban house with no AC on, with no street noise. That's kind of where your 26 dB floor is. But could go lower. 26 gives us a bit of a floor for how low we can test for fan speed, for cooler noise levels. It forces our noise normalized thermals into the area of 35 dBA at the lowest, maybe 40 for just having enough room. So if we had a noise chamber, semi-anechoic or anechoic chamber, it would allow us to drop the noise floor closer to maybe 10, or if we don't spend as much, maybe 15. And that just, it'd be really cool. So that would go here if we were ever able to do it, but we're at least a year out on that, if not multiple. We got to fill all this in, obviously, but for now, not a lot of plans for this room other than trying to save up to do an acoustic chamber for acoustic testing. And that would include frequency spectrum analysis, by the way. We can't do that right now. So this room, last time we showed it, is the testing room. We can get a wide shot here to show you, remind you if you saw part one. But this is a testing room, and the only real changes in here other than cleanup, getting rid of some small debris and stuff, has been, well, we're gonna have to do some concrete work, but that's a different story. But we've been getting in all the data and power. So because it's gonna be test benches, we're gonna have high power needs, high data needs. I had to go through the whole floor plan and mark where every circuit is unique, which it took quite a while. I'm not an electrician, it took a long time. We could have relied on them for it, but I really wanted it done a certain way. And so anyway, it's done now, but they're putting it in. The professionals have done the work they needed to do to make sure my plan actually was safe and made sense. And all I really did was mark where are the circuits, how many outlets per circuit, because I wanted to make sure we had enough power in a room where we could run multiple test benches at once without tripping a breaker and losing power. And also I wanted to know which breaker goes to which outlet. I'm sure if you've owned a home or something at some point, or even just an apartment, it's a huge pain when whoever owned it before you didn't mark where the circuits are, and you just have to flip random breakers until you find it. So I'm trying to eliminate that by marking it myself beforehand. We're gonna have some power poles in the middle here to get power into the middle of the room, and then this is gonna be a storage closet. But that pretty much wraps this room. Okay, so that's it for part 2 of the updates. There's gonna be a lot of parts to this series if this is how frequently we film them. So I'm pretty happy with the progress. We're working with a team of extremely good professionals. I've been impressed every step of the way with the contractors, everyone in the chain. So, except for internet service providers. Come at me, Spectrum. I don't know. What are you gonna do? Not provide me internet? How's that any different from now? Except it wouldn't cost me as much. So everyone else has been really good in the process, and it's gonna take a while. If you want to see the end results, just know that I do too. And it's going to take some patience, but we're going to really be able to expand our testing processes here. And one of our big challenges right now is like certain types of testing, like noise testing, shuts down the entire office. So if Mike or I or Patrick have to do a noise test on a product, the procedure is we close off that room. We have to turn off all of the AC for the building. So not just our unit, but shared adjacent units, and with cooperation from everyone else. And then everyone else in the unit that we're in has to basically stop moving, talking, do anything noisy to do a noise test. Fortunately, those don't take too long. They take anywhere from a couple minutes, like 2 to 5, to at worst 30 minutes, and we can plan for those by not having too many people in the office. But you can see how that's very disruptive to getting work done for everyone else. And so a space like this will let us get that done much easier without all the interruptions and have dedicated spaces for everything like that. So really be able to expand the testing, especially for the fan test chamber and stuff. But anyway, that's the progress so far. We have at least a couple months more to go at this point. I'm told that a lot of the stuff should go pretty quickly. I mean, painting the walls and putting a floor in will make it look really close to done. So I don't think we're as far as it feels. But thanks for watching. As always, thanks for the support. You can go to store.gamersnexus.net or patreon.com/gamersnexus to help us out directly. And check back for more. We'll see you all next time.